the better balance. 1 second as I cough. Um, I think Kenny has the more balanced team. What it do? It is your boy T. Lou, and we are back. Round two, baby. Round one was full of ups and downs, full of chaos. We had an underdog make it to the next round. Stay tuned for who that is, as you all already know. So I mean, I don't know why I said that, but Eddie, we're gonna kick things off. It's only right. The number one seed against the eighth seed, do it for Burrow, against Gamblers Anonymous. Could you just tell me, what transpired and what are your thoughts on said games?
Well, yeah, so this shouldn't have happened. I dislike Cheetah Hill for, the rest of the season probably until, he does something amazing and then I'm back on the bandwagon. But as for Kyron Williams, I think that's his name because, I never heard of him until last week, 2 weeks ago. Who's the other dude?
Who's
It's on
CD
my
Lamb?
name and yeah,
Uh,
Cowboys
uh,
players and
yeah.
yeah, man. It's just injuries. Christian Kirk, first play of the game, man's literally breaks his dick. It looks like. I mean,
Uh, that
for
was
lack of a better
that was
term,
low key a touchdown off rip.
yeah,
Just to throw
off
that out
rip,
there. Off rip.
off rip.
First throw of the game.
From Andre Stevenson, like a 20-yard run, gets blasted, concussion, doesn't come back in. You just can't make this stuff up. And like, I'm not the type. Shout out to Cap Kellerman, but I'm not the type to, what if, what if, what if. All I'm gonna really say is I didn't have a fair shake from the beginning. And let me talk to you to the rest of the league. Y'all couldn't do what I did.
As well, eloquently said. I'll keep it, short and simple. So, I would say, hey man, be humble. You did a great win. You didn't talk any shit or anything crazy. You're a very respectable opponent. And honestly, if you win, I know you're a good champion. You know what I'm saying? Some people, it's a good thing that they got eliminated. Or it's a good thing. It's a good thing that they didn't make it. So, Joe, good luck to you. We got the matchup we all wanted to see in terms of just how the season progressed, respectfully to my co-host, of course. We got the two best teams, arguably, Kenny and Joe, head to head in the semifinals. But we're going to move on to the next game, and then we'll come circle back to that. We got the best eighth seed ever against what's her real name, or Kenny changes his name every week to troll someone. What's her real name is a message to Joe. I guess it's an inside thing. I don't know, but honestly, we're not even going to cover this. Carlo,
I can't help myself. I'm all for like the little jokes and shit. So basically, like the whole meaning, it has to do with like Joe's love life and take what you will. I think his girl goes by two different names. I'm not gonna out her name or anything, but her
oh
middle name and her first name, kind of like my situation
yeah,
where
yeah,
like
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. No,
yeah,
I feel you. Yeah, no, that one was a shocker, bro. I
it's
remember
clever.
freaking senior year English class, bro. When he said, I'm looking around, I'm like, who's this guy? And he said here. I'm like, wait, what, bro? I was like, bro, I was like, who is this guy? But nah, damn, Kenny at it again. Kenny's getting a little spicy with these, man. If I, knock on wood, if I get the pleasure to face him, I hope he doesn't say anything crazy because I'm gonna have to give him a beat down, both in fantasy and in real life. But I want to keep my karma how it is. Best of luck to those two. This is definitely a W matchup, and I know there's some bickering. I heard some rumor mills that Joe says this is the finals and the semifinals, and I agree with you, but I have one counter to that. Last year, the finals was in round one against Eric and myself. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Don't disrespect the teams on the bottom bracket because guess
That's what I
what?
was gonna say. That was kind of wild.
That's what I'm saying. So it's just how it works out, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got the number one seed. You got the 5 point advantage. Don't foil it, man. Don't foil it. Best of luck to you too. We'll get our predictions soon. Next thing, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to not give you the chance to talk about it, but it wasn't even close. It was close
Yeah,
at first, but it's like you picked the whole Lions team. I don't even want to spend time talking about
yeah,
that.
that's not really worth.
It's
Yeah,
not. We spent more time talking about Joe and Kenny's matchup than we.
yeah. I just want to say this, Carlo. Welcome back to the group chat. That was very silly to leave all your group chats.
That's
You're
right.
not playing in the game, so
It's
you
real
had
dark
no
30.
control over the outcome. You going zero dark 30 just literally looks crazy because like you were acting like you were about to, get on the field and like, focus on the game and like, bro, what are we doing, bro?
So we're gonna skip to seven seed Duke Nukem against the second seed Tampa Mahone Burglars. 261 to 226. And, this was another doozy. T. Lou and Danny, I'm saying it like I'm not myself, but, we have a long history, pause. Regular season, super pause on this whole segment, so I don't have to say it anymore. But he's dominated me in the regular season consistently. Through all of fantasy. Like I know how there's a little who's your like easiest opponent, who's your hardest
Mm-hmm.
one. I think it changed recently, but like the numbers are kind of skewed. Danny usually beats me, right? Besides like this season. This season I beat him, twice, respectfully. I'm not trying to be mean, I'm not trying to make fun of you, make a jab. It just worked out that way. So I have all the respect in the world, and I thought he would keep it like super close because he always does. Even if he has a shit team, when it's against me, I don't know what it is. It's like he gets a Hall of Fame badge, and all the craziest outcomes happen. But then the Dolphins pick six and the Jets on Black Friday, blessed me with the early Christmas gift, and that was a 38-point defensive performance, and I was up by 36. By the end of week one. So I don't even want to spend any time covering that either. With all due respect, Danny. You'll get him next year. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, that play was crazy. I saw that in real time.
Yeah, me too. I
The
was jumping up
Jets
and down.
once, yeah, the Jets once again with an embarrassing play on Thanksgiving Day, butt fumble, 99 yard picks, Hail Mary pick six. I don't think I've ever seen or heard that. So, it's an L for Danny in fantasy. It's an even bigger L just being a lifelong Jets fan. That's all I gotta say. Like,
And last but certainly not least, I had to skip this one because this was neck and neck, down to the wire. And it was low key looking a little spooky for Eric. But Eric has slain the dragon. The Bang Van has banged his way past Carry Me Christian. Some of us wanted to see a potential finals of Sabrina and Joe, but the
that'd be really
defending
funny.
champion had other plans. That's right. The Bang Van, he did it. He got it done. What are your thoughts that Eric beat arguably the best team to make it to the semifinals?
Yeah, I mean, the boom week, so it was two boom weeks. I didn't think he had it in him. I'm not gonna lie, I picked Carry Me Christian, as did you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just don't even really like have this great analysis drawn up, and I just like I literally don't know how this happened. Like, it's kind of like crazy because it's like not like CMC played poorly. It's not like St. Brown, Keenan Allen. Like Keenan Allen could have played a little better. Trevor Lawrence was having a game of his life. I will say this: had Trevor Lawrence finished that game,
oh yeah,
we were about to see grown men cry
oh
because
yeah.
I'm telling you, like that last drive and a touchdown,
He was looking for it.
especially if it goes into overtime. So like, yeah, I mean, but that didn't happen. Low key, like once Christian Kirk went out, I could care less. But like, I was literally rooting for Trevor Lawrence because I wanted Christian Kirk to get me 27 points. I think is what I needed. You know, not impossible, just not likely. But anyway, not to go on to that tangent, but yeah, I didn't see this coming. But Derrick Henry's a dog.
He is.
Jalen Hurts is a dog.
Yeah.
You know,
Touchdown vulture. Yep.
no Mark Andrews. I took
None.
away Taysom Hill from him. He
Yeah,
had him at one point.
my boy, my boy. Let's
Got it.
go.
So, you're welcome for that.
Thank you, thank you.
And yeah, I mean, congrats to him. I mean, I've always known Eric's team has always been a wild card because he scores like that all the time. I didn't think 2 weeks in a row
Mm-hmm.
with the way Carry Me Christian scored those 2 weeks. I didn't think, I mean, She averaged 120 in
Mhm.
2 weeks, I believe, if my math, or 121.
Yep.
That's you gotta do that twice in a row. I mean, low key,
It's asking
all
for
of
a
our
lot.
teams outside of Carlos Lions team, all of our teams, put up really high numbers. Like we showed
Oh
why
yeah.
we all belonged in the playoffs.
Oh,
Even
absolutely.
though there were some blowouts, like 236 is good by Danny. I mean, I'm pretty sure I dropped like 240. Yeah, it was just
Yep.
Carlo who struggled to get to 200, but what can I say? Congrats to Eric, and he may change the landscape of who could possibly win right now. Like
It
it's
did.
open.
Yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out to the losers bracket real quick. This is not a jab. This is actually a compliment. We got Big Baller Brand 210. We got damn Kiwi still losing, bro. That is crazy. But 207, which is really good. And even the Bully Gang with 205. Quan was the other team 168. But Quan, we give him an excuse. You know what I'm saying? With what he had to deal with. So the fact that Carlo made the playoffs and you know Will outscored you. This is what I'm just saying, man. If Will won that game, things would have been a little more interesting. They would have all lost, but it would have been a little high scoring. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, shout out to Bully Gang. Sabrina, well drafted first year. I'm gonna be honest, she was
I almost
a
pulled it off.
she almost did, and she was an A chain away from winning. I know some people are like, "Oh, why would you?" Last time she started A chain when he came back from his injury, he played one snap out for the game. So I understand the logic of, let me play it safe. Let me at least get like 6 or 8 fantasy points for Rasheed Rice. And ironically, A chain came back and dropped 22. So that saved all of us. But now moving on, it's time for the semifinals. This is that point where your heart starts to race a little more. You don't know what's the outcome. You're thinking of victory speeches. You're thinking of losing speeches. We're gonna start things off with the two best teams in the league. Who do you got winning? And just a brief synopsis and why. Between what's her real name, Kenny violating, and Gamblers Anonymous. Joe, get help. Continue.
Yeah. I second those sentiments. I got a Joe. No surprise here. I mean, I personally seen like, bro, this man just scores a lot of points. Like he's projected 130, and I thought these projections were crazy until he did it against me. Now, granted, Jonathan Taylor's out, and no matter how much they suck Zach Moss, it's not gonna happen. Let's just stop. He's not scoring 17. He didn't do it last week. He's not doing it this week. But Tyreek Hill makes up for it. CeeDee Lamb makes up for it. I mean, he's got an interesting quarterback situation, but Jordan Love is playing decently. So
He's
the
playing the
defense,
Giants. He's playing the Giants.
yeah, so that's gonna be a pretty interesting week. And then
Ooh.
the other thing with Kenny's team, I mean, Jamar Chase. I don't know if he can continue having these games. Like, can Jake Browning keep doing this? If Jake Browning can keep doing this, it'll look interesting, but I don't see it happening with Jamar Chase. I don't see it happening. I mean, Josh Allen is going to have 240-point performances. That's the way I look at it to even make this a game. So, and then, the 5 point advantage, I heard through the grapevine that some of us wanted to change that rule, but it is what it is. That 5 point advantage too. I mean, all signs just point to Joe. I think he's on a collision course to make it to the finals. I've thought this since the beginning of the season.
I I agree. I think I've said this several times. I don't know if it made the cut or not, but I'm gonna say it again just so it makes this cut. I got Joe. His matchups are very favorable, other than maybe his running back, but it's like logically you're not gonna not start that person anyway. That's just not how that goes. One time I listened, oh, maybe you should sit them. They're playing the best defense, and I lost in the semifinals because I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to the easier matchup. The easier matchup isn't always the outcome that you want.
Not at
So,
all.
you know, I think that Kenny has the better balance. 1 second as I cough. Um, I think Kenny has the more balanced team. His holes are very tight. on his team. Pause.
Ooh,
You got the court.
wow.
You got
Come
the.
on, bro.
You got the.
Come on, son.
You got the best.
Nah.
You got the best fantasy quarterback in the league.
Yeah, yeah, I need tissue. Yeah.
But yeah, I got Joe. But it might be one of those things where it's a seesaw. Maybe Joe's up by like 20 or something, and then next week Kenny has a great week and keeps it close. So I think that might also be the outcome.
He's
But I
he's
got
beatable. I like
yeah.
Joe is beatable. If Kenny could do what I did, which he has a team to do it, and just barring any crazy Kyron Williams games or any like you could predict CeeDee Lamb and Tyreek Hill, but if like no crazy like Zach Moss goes for 36,
Mhm.
it should be an interesting game.
And last but certainly not least, we got the rematch of last season. This is another matchup that has a lot of history. Face each other in the finals on 3 separate occasions.
I got T. Lou. I got T. Lou. I mean,
My gosh, why? I'm sorry,
I'm
why?
just I like the consistency. The consistency is what I look at, and Eric's team it's just a lot. It's very boomer bust, and he's gotten 2 weeks where he's boomed. That bust is coming anytime. Pause.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, sir.
I'm probably assuming you got Eric because you know.
You know me too well, because that's exactly who I got. I'm gonna go with Bang Van and the biggest birds, Jalen Hurts quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Go Bird Gang.